Good evening, roommates, and welcome to the room. Good evening, everybody. Glad you could join us on tonight. This is the place where we talk about what we talk about. I am Dr. Gina Crawford. As always, it is a pleasure to have you join me in the room. So, if you would, as always, like, love, and share this live on tonight. And for those who watch the replay all over the world, we want to say thank you for your viewership and thank you for your encouragement. Um, as always, of course, there's something to talk about. There's something for us to kind of ponder, something for us to really think about on tonight. And so it is my hope and prayer that you will really listen intently and give me your undivided attention just for a few minutes, just for a few minutes. I guarantee you it's going to cause you to think about life a little bit differently. It's going to cause you to think about those things that you're called to do a little bit differently, or at least I hope it does. So to our YouTube friends, to our Facebook friends, I want to say good evening to you. Feel free to comment in the chat. Tell us where you, don't they say, well, tell us where you're watching from. Somebody say, okay, my couch. Okay. Anyway, so tonight, this has been a week of clarity. This has been a week really of, how you ask God for something. God, show me. God, show me who I am. God, make things clear. And when he does, sometimes it's kind of like, well, I didn't mean for you to like go hard like that. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Let me ask you that question. When was the last time you asked God to show you who you are? God, show me. Or you may not have even asked yourself that. So sometimes I have these moments where I sit and have conversations with myself, where I sit and kind of say, hey, you need to do some listening right now. And so in that listening, I have come to the realization that I have been a little bit arrogant. I know, dum dum dum. I've been in operating in arrogance. And honestly, when we finish on tonight, you may see that you've been operating in arrogance as well. Arrogance, and literally tonight I was like, you know what? Am I being insulting to God? Am I literally like being insulting to God? So here's the thing. You know how God will ask you to do something or give you an assignment, right? And I hope y'all are sharing this because I think it's going to bless so many people, especially people who are kind of like hesitant about doing certain things. You're hesitant about ministry. You're hesitant about releasing a book. You're hesitant about starting a business. You're hesitant about doing the things that God has called you to do, right? And it's interesting because people who are not Christians or people who are in the world, it's kind of like they have no issue with starting stuff. They have no issue. They will lay out a plan. They won't even have a plan and go ahead and get a multi-million-dollar business, right? So here's the thing. I've come to the realization that I've been operating in arrogance, because when God has called you to do something or he's asked you to do something, oftentimes we will either kind of be hesitant about doing it, or we'll procrastinate, or we'll kind of write down all the reasons we can't do it. We'll write down all the excuses. We'll, give all the reasons and all the whys. Well, I can't do it because I don't have the resources. I don't have the people. I don't have the help. I don't have the money. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have all the things that I need. And so I sat there and I started thinking, I was like, well, Gina, he knows that. Like, he's not slow. He knows that you don't have all the stuff. He didn't even ask you to make a list. He just gave you something to do. And so when I actually looked up the word arrogance, y'all know I had to look it up. So sometimes you think you know what a word means, but when I went back to look at arrogance, it's an exaggeration of your importance and your abilities. It's an exaggeration, or you think that you are so important and what you have, your abilities are so magnified. And so when I started to think about that, I was like, oh, wow, that's kind of deep. I literally had to repent, because when you're asking me to do something, God, I'm automatically assuming that you're asking me to do it in my own strength. I'm automatically assuming that you're asking me to take on the full responsibility of everything that you're asking me to do. And I'm assuming that you're not going to even be there. So when I make my list of excuses, when I make my list of I can't and what if this and what if that, literally I am insulting God and saying I'm operating as if you're going to tell me to do something and then you're going to abandon me. That's insulting. That's insulting. Apostle, I love you. I do. That's insulting. And so when I started thinking about it, and I literally had to go back and look at the word insulting, y'all, and it's triumph over in an arrogant way. So I think that my abilities are so important. I think that, what I do and what I have is so important until I'm telling God, no, I can't do that because I don't have the abilities. I don't have the capability to do it. But not once did he say, hey, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to drop this off at your house and I'm going to leave you to handle it all by yourself. And so when we're telling God no, and when we're being disobedient, and when we're operating in that sense of, well, I can't. And can I be transparent? So I have covered it up. Woo, here we go. So I've covered up by saying, well, I'm just not really a people person. And I've covered it up by saying, well, I'm just kind of shy, or I'm just introverted. When in actualities, it was my own insecurities. And so literally this week, God say, hey, let me sit you down. Let me talk to you real quick. Let me, baby, come here. Let me talk to you real quick. So Gina, if I did not think that you could do it, if I was going to leave you, why would I give you the assignment in the first place? Why would I embarrass myself? Why would I put my name on the line? And so if we're in that space where we're just like, whoa, Lord, this is a lot to do. He's like, but I didn't ask you to do it all. I just ask you to be available. And so how many people are we holding up? How many processes and things are we limiting? And are we limited in because we think that we have to do it in our own ability? Arrogance. Oftentimes we think arrogance is like people talking about themselves and people boasting about what they're doing. Do you know that you can operate in arrogance and still be silent? Silence is a form of arrogance. Procrastination is a form of arrogance. You giving way, or us giving way to our insecurities, that's a form of arrogance. Because what we're saying is, God, what you put inside of me is not good enough. So I don't see how that's going to get done. What you've called me to, that's too big. So I don't have the abilities. He said, not once did I ask you to. I just ask you to be available. And so, y'all know my mind goes back to my boy Moses. So Moses and God, they're going back and forth. And so literally God is like, is something wrong with him? I just ask you if you would just be available. I didn't ask you to do it. I'm telling you, I'm right there with you. I'm speaking to you. And literally, a lot of us who are listening on tonight and those who watch the replay, he's already spoken. And he has spoken several times. And every time, what do? Well, God, I can't. Well, God, what about? And he was like, so you just going to sit there and keep insulting me? As if I'm not the one who had a plan for you before you even showed up. How insulting. How arrogant are you? How arrogant are we? And so when we shy away from our assignments, when we shy away from certain things, when we shy away from people, when we shy away from ministry, when we shy away from writing the book, when we shy away from opening the business, we are literally operating in arrogance and saying, well, God, I don't think you're going to really be there with me. So I want you to prove yourself to me first before I take a step. I want you to prove yourself to me first. Show me that you're going to be right there with me. Show me that you're not going to leave me. Yeah, I know it's in your word, but I need to see it. How arrogant are we? And so we have this exaggeration of our own importance. We have this exaggeration of our own abilities. And literally, God is saying, if it were not for the breath that I put in your body, even the little stuff that you think is so important that you do, you wouldn't even be able to do it. Arrogance. And so when I sat down and I really thought about that thing, and I thought about all the things that are on my list to do, and all the things that God is asking me to do and has asked me to do, and for me to say, well, no, well, I'll push everybody else, but no, because I believe everybody else has it. And he's like, so you're saying that I'm not God enough to know what I'm doing? So you're saying I made a mistake by choosing you? So you're saying that I don't even understand. I'm not even God enough to know I don't understand what you're saying. So you're so into yourself. You're so arrogant. You're so self-absorbed. So you're thinking about everything that you don't have. You're thinking about all the people that may hurt you. You're thinking about all the things that may go wrong with you. You're thinking about all the reasons why not to do it. And God is saying, so what you're saying is, I'm not enough. I'm not enough. So then you have to ask yourself the question, do I really believe him? Do I really believe in God? I shout it. I say it. I shout it. We clap it and say it. We sing it. God, I'm just trusting God. We wear it. I'm just out here trusting God. No. Sometimes you're not. The proof is, because if we really were, then we would not hesitate to do anything that he's called us to do. Anything that he asks us to do. There will be no hesitation. Now, I'm not saying that once you're going along that you ain't going to have some stuff in your head like, hey, we just kind of out here, God. So what we really doing? But he's like, but I got you though. You said you trust me, right? But here's the other piece of that. We get upset when people don't trust us. Is that not insulting? Don't we get upset? We feel insulted when somebody does not trust you. When you feel insulted when somebody says that they don't believe that God put something inside of you, when all the while it's not that they're saying it. Could it be that when people don't believe what you say and who you say you are, it's not that it's them saying it, it's God speaking through them because he knows that you don't even believe it? I know it's a little rough tonight. I got me first. So he's saying, so if you really believed in me, if you really love me like you say you love me, if you really want to surrender all, if you really want to do the work, then why are you so arrogant? Why are you so self-absorbed? Why are you so concerned about your abilities and what you have? Is it not all on me? I specifically chose you to do this. I specifically chose you to be the minister, the pastor. I specifically chose you to be the writer, the author. I specifically chose you to be the business owner. I chose you. So because you can't see past yourself, you're just going to say, I'm not going to do it. Arrogance. How insulting. And we wonder why the world looks at Christians sometimes and it's like, y'all whack. Y'all lame. So we got to move past the singing and the t-shirt wearing and the cliches. You got to move past that. Sometimes you just got to get out your own way and not sometimes, all the time, even though it may be difficult, but get out your own way. Let's get out of our own way and let God be God. Let God be God. And I guarantee you that your highest thought is really like basement level to God. The thing that you think is so magnificent, the thing that you're thinking is, I'm going to do this. And God is like, yeah, but that's still kind of low on the totem pole because that's what you think your limitation is. That's your highest thought. But suppose I want to do more with you. Suppose I want to do more with you. And so we think that we're at penthouse level. Our penthouse level is basement to God. You know, that level where we get to the top and we kind of want to show everybody what we did. We want kind of, even when we're talking about people who've hurt us, it's all about us. Everything is like, look what they did to me. Look what they said to me. They didn't support me. They didn't help me. They didn't show up for me, but I showed up for them. And he was like, you look arrogant something. You look arrogant something. How insulting. How insulting to think that I would ask you to do something and not equip you to do it. How insulting to think that I will put you in places and around people and not give you the words to say. How insulting and how arrogant are you to think that I would give you an idea but not give you the resources to execute it? How insulting. And so as we're at this halfway mark of the year, literally there's room for a turnaround. There's room for a turnaround. There's room for you to stop and examine your motives. Stop and examine, what am I really doing out here? Am I really trying to do this thing because I don't want people to be disappointed in me? Am I so self-absorbed until I just want people to look at me? And literally God is saying, let's sit down and have a conversation. Examine yourself. Examine your motives. Examine your level of arrogance. Are you being insulting? Simply because we are looking at the world's standard. We're looking at the standard that the world has set to say that you're successful when you reach this many people. You're successful when you've made it on these platforms. This is their measure of success. Can I tell you what success is? Success, true success, is when you know that you have been completely obedient. That's success. That's success. Not the numbers, not the numbers of this that you sold, not the numbers of that you sold. That's the world's measure of success. But true success, real success, is when you can look in the mirror and say, I was obedient. I was obedient. I was obedient. I was disciplined. That's true success. So whatever it is that he's telling you to do, whatever it is that he's already spoken. And so here it is. He's not literally saying, okay, I'm going to give you something new to do. No, go back and look at all the things that you have not done. Go back and look at all the things that you have not done. Go back and look at all the plans that you made that you have not executed. Go back and look at all of those things. Some of us have years and years and books and notebooks worth of things, years worth of things to go back and take a look at. This time, do it with God in mind. This time, do it with God in mind, not out of your mind, not out of our minds. This time, do it. And can I tell you honestly, this is trying to, it's actually a privilege to be asked. It should be an honor. It should be a humbling experience. You chose me to do that. You chose me to host this. You chose me to write that. You chose me to build this. You chose me to speak to them. That's how much God believes in us. But do we believe in him? So before we do anything else, y'all, seriously, it's an honor. It's an honor for God to say, I'm choosing you to do this. And here's the thing. The reason I chose you to do it is because you can do it like nobody else can. It may look similar, but you can do it like nobody else can. That's why I chose you. I chose you to do it because I know that you're going to give me the glory. You're not going to take the glory from myself. You're not going to be a glory robber. You're not going to get greedy for glory. You're not going to get greedy for glory. I chose you to be the person, to be the enthusiastic one. I chose you to be the person, where people can come to and they can talk. I chose you. I put that in you. And so to dim that light and to say, nah, I'm not going to do that. I don't even feel like talking to people. They draining. You said, did I actually do it in your own strength? Did I ask you to do it in your own strength? Did I say I'm going to drop this off at your house and just leave? If I'm clear, he's like, I remember Wait a minute. I'll never leave you or forsake you. Why would I put you out there like that? Why would I put my reputation on the line? I trust you. That's why I chose you. I trust you. I trust that you're going to do what I called you to do. I trust that you're going to do what I've assigned for you to do. But this whole arrogance, this whole thing of, but what about me? What about my feelings? God, I don't like people. People are watching me. People are looking at me. People are going to talk about me. What if they don't support me? And he's sitting there like, okay, ooh, shaking his head. There you go. It's all about you. But you tell people that it's all about me. Giving honor to God who's the head of my life. Am I really? Am I really the head of your life? So, with that being said, I hope this was a blessing to somebody tonight. Yeah, it was, the conversation was a little thick. I'm talking about between me and him. The conversation was a little thick. You know, all I could do was sit there and be like, oh, wow. Didn't realize that. And then here's the other part, and I'm gonna let y'all go. So sometimes what we do is we get a little arrogant in terms of our level of jealousy, that we don't even know that we're upset with other people. You know, especially people who are doing things in the world, and we feel like they're not doing it God's way. And God, how could you allow them to be successful and to be millionaires and do that? He was like, unbeknownst to you, they may not show up every Sunday, but that faith level was on top notch. I know. Got to me too. So he's like, you talk about what everybody else is doing and how much better you can do it. And you know how to do it better than this person. And this person could have done this, and this person could have done that. He said, but the difference is they did it. They did it. They did it. So yeah, go ahead and go back to the notebook and grab the plans and go back to the drawing board. And you know, first you got to repent for being arrogant. That's the first thing. Like, spend some time today and be like, you know what, God, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Because I thought when I got up in front of people that it was me. I am so sorry that I forgot when I penned this book, I thought the sales were going to rely on me. God, I am so sorry, because when I opened this business and when this ministry started, I really thought that it was going. I thought I had to do it all. I thought I was advertising. I thought I was advertising you, but I was really advertising myself. And so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did not even realize. So when I say that I'm scared, when I say that I'm fearful, God, really, it's an insult. When I say that I'm worried, when I say that I don't have this and I don't have that, it really is an insult to you, because you are God. You are God. You are God. So let me go back and check my belief. Do I really believe? Do I really trust you? Because if I did, I would move quickly. If I did, your voice would be the loudest in my life. If I did really trust you, I wouldn't worry so much about what I wouldn't worry about other people say. If I did trust you, nobody would have to coax me time and time and time again and repeat. Some of us have gotten the same prophecies like 20 times over, like literally 20 times over. And we go to different people thinking that somebody's going to say something different. And literally, he's saying the same exact thing. And so don't let it get to the point where he's just like, how about we just going to shut this conversation down? I'm not telling you nothing else. That wrath, thank God for his forgiveness and his brand new mercies and his love and his kindness and his favor. But if that's you tonight, so my shirt says monitor and adjust. And shout out to K-Mac, one of my former co-workers, about this. This is something I will always say. And, you know, it's like monitor and adjust. Tonight, that's what he's calling us to do in life. Monitor. Look at what you're doing and make the adjustment. He's not going to leave us out here by ourselves. Do y'all see what's happening out here in this world? Do y'all see? Can I tell you, it's a trick of the enemy to make us want to hesitate. It's a trick of the enemy to make us want to procrastinate. It's a trick of the enemy to be like, well, no, because mine don't look like theirs and my platform don't look like that person's. And you know what? Well, they supporting her, but I don't know, because I'm kind of like, just getting started. Well, God, why is it that different? And so it's a trick of the enemy. That whole thing of, I don't know if I'm qualified enough. So God is saying, so you thought I asked you to do it? Little do you know, that's my breath. You tripping. So whatever it is, y'all, I'm telling you, it's needed for such a time as this. Do you see what's happening in this world? Here's the thing. The enemy is telling people to do things. And guess what they're doing? They're doing it. So how is it that we can let people to show us that as soon as the enemy says something to them, people are more obedient to the devil than we are to God? Y'all, that's foul. That's foul. People are more obedient to the enemy than we are to God. And we wonder why stuff is happening in the world. And we wonder why things are not better. Man, that's deep. Think about that. Think about that. So, I love y'all. I do. It hit me first. So there's so many things that are happening, so many good things that are happening. No need to be jealous of nobody. No need to be like, oh man, I wish myself looked like theirs. No. Just focus on what he's telling you to do. So first thing, repent for being arrogant and insulting, and let God be God in your life. The glory is not for you. The glory is not for us. The glory is for him. And as long as we remember that, all will be well with the world. So let's keep this world in prayer. There's so many things that are happening in the lives of so many people. Kids coming up missing, and people are physically suffering and mentally mental instability. So I just believe that, if we do our parts, if we really do it, if we just do what we're supposed to do without taking us out of the equation, I'm telling you, you're going to look up and it's going to be done. You're going to look up and it's going to be done. So no need to be jealous of nobody. No need to waste any more time. Time that does not even belong to you. That's how arrogant we are. We procrastinate thinking that I got time. That's not. So here's the other piece. I'm going to let y'all go for real. Don't be upset when he says, okay, no problem. Don't worry. No problem. No problem. You scared. No problem. You hesitating. No problem at all. I'm going to go ahead and give this assignment to somebody else. Don't let him give your assignment away, because it belongs to you. And he loves you enough and trusts you enough to give it to you. Okay. We good. All right, y'all. I pray that you have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day to all of our gentlemen, those who are, biological, bonus, grandpa, pop, those who stood in the gap, uncle, big brother, cousin, whoever, neighbor. Thank you. We want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Don't forget, no more drama. It's coming next week, yo. So if you have not registered, I think you still have time to register. Look, you don't want to miss it. Go ahead and take your, was it PTO days? Yeah, take your PTO days. Go. It ain't up the street. So I love y'all. Have a great evening. But seriously, take some time to think about it. Go back and look at all the things that you have not done, and take yourself out of the equation and just let God be God. Nix the arrogance. Repent for being insulting. And get to work. It's people out there waiting on you. It's people waiting out there on all of us. The world needs us. We love you. God bless you. Holla to my roommates. Good night, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us. Yeah, seriously, share this with somebody. Like, love, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Love y'all. Good night. Holla.